What's up YouTube? It's Matt with the Matt Out Here YouTube channel. Today we're out here at the Government Canyon State Natural Area in Northwest San Antonio, and we're hiking the Joe Johnston Route. All right, y'all, I am headed to the trailhead here. It's about maybe 2/10 of a mile from the visitor center. So let's get started. All right, YouTube, what's up? It is Matt with the Matt Out Here YouTube channel. Today I'm out here hiking the Joe Johnston Route, which is an old military route that was used during the Civil War. So I'm out here, the trail's about 4 miles down, 4 miles back. It's primarily flat, so we're not gonna face any challenges of elevation today, but this trail's really interesting because it really is a journey through time. It's a time traveling experience because our first major attraction on this trail is going to be some dinosaur tracks that date back 110 million years. And our second attraction on this trail is going to be the old Zizelman House, which is a home that was owned by a family of bakers here in the area. It's a mysterious house because at the time when it was discovered out here, this park sits on 12,000 acres. So this home is 4 miles into the trail in a really remote part of the park, showing how people lived so remotely back in the late 1800s when this house is assumed to have been built. So to find a home out here owned by a family of bakers, this was not their main homestead. This must have been a summer home or a spring home, but out here in the very remote and rural Texas hill country is pretty unique. So there's some mystery around this house. There's graffiti in it dating back to the 1940s. So let's go see it for ourselves and maybe draw some conclusions, and y'all tell me what you think this house was used for.
As we get started, take a look around. This is classic Texas hill country. You'll see live oaks, cedar, persimmon, sorrel, prickly pear cactus, and mountain laurel. All of this sits on limestone rock, part of the Edwards Aquifer recharge zone. That means every bit of rain that falls here can soak through cracks in the rock and help fill the aquifer that supplies San Antonio's drinking water. And wildlife is all around us. Deer, raccoons, armadillos, javelina, feral hogs, and over 200 bird species, including the endangered golden cheek warbler. You might not see them all, and we especially won't see them on the trail today, given that we're hiking in the middle of the day, but you know they're out here.
So I've been out here one other time, and I came in the middle of the week actually, and I did I believe it's the Bobcat Trail or the Wildcat Canyon Trail, which it's a lengthy trail, but it's primarily just covered with this brush you're seeing, not so much prairies not so much the scenery that we're used to seeing like at the Guadalupe River State Park or even the Texas Hill Country State Natural Area. So this park is located here in San Antonio, and I keep referring to it as a park, but it is a state natural area, meaning that it's more remote and that it's protected and more primitive. So this park's actually closed 3 days out of the week. So you can't just come up here and hike every day. And so they're really protecting this park because it sits on top of the Edwards Aquifer and feeds all of San Antonio's water needs. So it's a neat park. In terms of wildlife, I would imagine there's some deer out here. I did talk to someone at the front and they told me they do have a feral hog problem, but what state park doesn't have a feral hog problem, right, at this point in time? But bobcats probably out here. I'm not sure if there's any mountain lions. There's definitely a lot of people at this park. When I got here, there was a line of about 30 cars. Now, I took advantage of the overnight reservation process. So I went ahead and made a reservation for day use last night and was able to get in here pretty easily. But this park does fill up, and you definitely want to make a reservation, especially on the weekend. It's definitely super crowded out here today. There's a lot of people. It's a Saturday, super busy. Every 30 feet or so, there's a couple people going by. This park gets a huge San Antonio crowd, so definitely come prepared for that.
So, the Joe Johnston Route got its name from a surveyor who helped map the area in the 1850s. That was back when the U.S. Army was using it as a supply route. And that's actually how Government Canyon got its name. The government road ran right through this canyon. It's cool to think that soldiers, wagons, and cattle drives all came through this exact route on their way west, and not to mention all of the Native American history that took place out here, and the mystery of the Zizelman House. So people must have been traveling this road for some time, and this road must have seen a lot.
All right, y'all. We are almost to the Dinosaur Tracks. So I couldn't have asked for a more beautiful day out here. I mean, this shade from the brush here, and then also just the nice, cool September air, the nice breeze. Today really is a beautiful day to be out here on the trails.
Well, here we are, folks, at one of the most unique spots in the San Antonio area, the Dinosaur Tracks. These tracks are over 110 million years old, and the tracks were made during the Cretaceous period, when this area was a coastal shoreline. Scientists think that two types of dinosaurs left these prints. The first one being theropods, which were meat-eating dinosaurs, and they walked on two legs. And the other was sauropods, which were giant, long-necked plant eaters with massive round footprints. Imagine these giants walking through soft mud, and over time those prints filled in, turned to rock, and stayed here for over 100 million years until we uncovered them again. This is one of the only places in South Texas where you can see dinosaur tracks on public land, and it's humbling to stand here and imagine that these creatures roamed where we are right now. Standing here, you're looking at two of the most fascinating animals that ever lived in Texas. First is Aracanthosaurus, and second is Sauroposeidon, and these tracks are direct connection to them. First, let's talk about Aracanthosaurus. This was a massive predator, one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs in North America during the early Cretaceous period. It stood more than 11 feet tall at the hip, nearly 40 feet from nose to tail, and could weigh over 6 tons. Its name means high-spined lizard because of the tall spines running along its back, which may have supported a ridge or sail-like structure. When you look at these three-toed prints, you can almost picture it stalking across a muddy shoreline, leaving deep claw marks as it searched for prey. Then we have Sauroposeidon, whose tracks are those big, round impressions. Sauroposeidon was one of the tallest dinosaurs ever discovered, up to 60 feet long and 40 feet tall, with a neck that alone could stretch over 30 feet. These were plant-eating giants that traveled in herds, browsing the tops of trees and shaping the landscape as they moved. Imagine the ground shaking as a group of these gentle giants lumbered through this very canyon, leaving footprints that would harden and last for millions of years. Together, these tracks give us a snapshot of life here 110 million years ago. A predator on the move and a herd of sauropods passing through. It's an incredible reminder that this quiet canyon was once a busy place full of giants. From here, we're heading further down the trail to see the Zizelman House, also called the Old Home. And as we go, notice the canyon walls and creek crossings. This whole landscape is shaped by water, from flash floods that carved these creek beds to the springs that once supplied settlers. Water is the reason people settled here, and the reason this land was eventually protected as a natural area.
We've got some beautiful Spanish moss here growing off this oak tree. So this tells me that the environment and habitat that we were just in up until the dinosaur tracks is about to change.
And here it is, folks, the Zizelman House. This limestone home was built in 1882 by Christian Zizelman, a German immigrant and baker from San Antonio. The house was made with hand-cut limestone blocks right here from the canyon. and the walls are nearly 1.5 feet thick. There's even a basement and an attic space. The crazy part, historians aren't sure the Zizelmans ever really lived here, and some think it might have been a weekend or summer house, or maybe they never finished it. Today it stands as a beautiful ruin and a reminder of what life was like for settlers carving out an existence in the rugged hill country. You can't go inside the house, but you can see it from outside this fence here, and you can see the old stone, and right now they've got the windows barred up, but you can kind of imagine what life was like for someone that might have been staying out here.
All right, y'all, we're gonna briefly connect here on the Overlook Trail, and we're gonna circle back to the Dinosaur Tracks and see them from the Overlook perspective. And then we'll loop back to the Joe Johnston Route and head back to the car, and that would conclude this hike. But let's see what this Overlook has to offer. This is something I wasn't planning on doing coming out here, but now that I'm here and I've been meeting people and seeing other people do it, and it sounds like something pretty interesting. So let's go on this little improv adventure. A lot of the natural area here is this thick brush. Looks a lot like some of the back parts of the Bowery at the Guadalupe River State Park. But definitely is a lot of just very thick brush. And I'm assuming this area must get a ton of water because it's all feeding up from the Edwards Aquifer underneath. You can tell by some of the vegetation that there's a lot of weed growth, a lot of different species popping up here that we've not seen in other parks. But just really thick brush, like I said. Got a lot of old fence out here and a lot of old rock walls that I've seen. All just indications, once again, of ranch life out here in the area. We've got a lot of neat creeks in here and creek bottoms. Usually around creeks, you're gonna find a lot of Native American activity and a lot of tools that they used. If you think about survival, the Native Americans would have had to have come around these creeks to survive and to live. So it makes sense that they would have worked and been close to water at all times. So definitely a lot of activity out here in this park and in most parks that we visited, across the Texas Hill Country area. Check out this Overlook Trail, y'all. You can see out pretty far over this Government Canyon here. Pretty incredible. All right, y'all, that's gonna be a wrap on this video. I hope y'all have enjoyed the hike with me. And remember, this hike's about time travel. You're seeing some really old dinosaur tracks from 110 million years ago, and then coming down to this old homestead that was built in the 1880s that still has a lot of mystery remaining around it. So I encourage y'all to come out here, come see the place for yourself, and come step into a little adventure out here. But until next time, y'all, I hope y'all have a great weekend and a great week, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. All right, y'all, take care.